Welcome back to Nintendo Academy. I am Mike Perez, and I played The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD for the very first time. That means that I did not play it for the Nintendo Wii, and this was my first time playing it with the Nintendo Switch, and here is my review. Before we get into this awesome review, if we are just meeting, I am Mike Perez, and here at Nintendo Academy we cover games, news, reviews, unboxings, and a whole bunch of crazy stuff related to Nintendo. So if you love Nintendo, consider subscribing and clicking that bell so you don't miss another Nintendo Academy video. Alright, so before we get into this review, I have a little special unboxing to do and to show you guys related to The Legend of Zelda. It just came in the mail today and I'm super excited to go ahead and open it for you. It's Zelda related, and yes, it is the Zelda Joy-Con. So Nintendo released these set of Joy-Cons to celebrate the 35th anniversary of Zelda and also the launch of Skyward Sword HD on the Nintendo Switch. So I want to go ahead and unbox this very quick so I can show you these awesome Joy-Cons and the design they have before we get into the review. Alright, so the box is open. Let's go ahead and open it here. We have the Joy-Con right there. What else we have here? We have that little clicky thingy that goes inside the Joy-Con, and then we also have the other Joy-Con right here. The box itself is pretty small. You can see right there it has the design for the two Joy-Cons here, and it has the Skyward HD logo here for The Legend of Zelda in the corner. Feels like it comes in a little bag just like the original Joy-Cons, and here it is, guys. That is a beautiful design. Look at that. Get the other one out of the bag and show you guys. This one is a darker controller. I'm not sure if it's a purple or dark blue and purple. Take a look at the bottom. It has a Triforce right at the bottom. Very nice looking. It has it's like a darker blue. Similar design next to the X, Y, B, A buttons to the other Joy-Con right there. We have that very nice pattern design on the joystick itself, and then we also have those little patterns right by the X, Y, B, and A button. The strap on right here. That looks super beautiful. Very nice. Look at that. There it is with the adapter onto it. And then look at this really beautiful design here for the actual strap. Same exact colors. We have two colors there. You guys can take a look at that beautiful controller. And those are the controllers right there. They look super beautiful. Very nice. And yeah, that was the unboxing for the Joy-Cons for The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD edition. And of course, released to celebrate the 35th anniversary of The Legend of Zelda. Alright, so that was the unboxing of the Joy-Cons themselves. And now let's get into the Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD review for the Nintendo Switch. So just to provide you a little bit of context on how I do reviews here at Nintendo Academy. So here at Nintendo Academy, we use the Power Up Star rating scale, and we rate the game from 1 Power Up Star to 10 Power Up Stars, and that's how we review the game. That's how we rate the game at the end. The way I like to conduct reviews is the way I think, the way everybody thinks when you see a game. Is it good? Is it bad? What did I like about it? What I didn't like about it? I don't spend too much time on just describing things with crazy words that you might never ever use in your life. For example, let's say I review this mug. I will not do this. This mug is beautifully crafted with the mahogany of the ceramic nature that brings about a smell of nothingness. No. I'm gonna say, this is a cool mug. It's a cool mug. I like it. The design is awesome. I can drink from it. And I think this little handle here is very handy to hold the mug. When it's hot, I use it. When it's not, I hold it like this and drink. Pretty cool mug. How much is this mug? Not too expensive. How many power-up stars do I give it? 10. And that's my review for the mug. And let's get into the game now. Alright, so The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD. Join Link in high-flying quest to save Zelda, a childhood friend who must confront her destiny, soar between floating islands, and descend to the treacherous surface world in the earliest story of the Legend of Zelda series. Yes, guys, some say that this is the very first story of the Legend of Zelda, and that's why there is no Hyrule Kingdom, there is no Ganon, and they live way up in the sky. People who live in the sky have no clue about what the surface is like, and it's only, for example, written in legends and in history books and in myths that exist about something existing below the clouds. So everybody who lives up in the sky has no clue what's happening down, and vice versa. People who live on the ground do not know that there is a different area up above the clouds where people live, where Hylians live. I guess they're not called Hylians yet. But yeah, this is basically the very first story in The Legend of Zelda, which is pretty cool. So we find our main character, Link, sleeping in the beginning, like always. And he is in the middle of basically practicing with his Loftwing, which is a giant bird they ride, in preparation for this race that he is going to conduct against other people in order to become the one who conducts this ceremony with Princess Zelda on top of one of the goddess statues in the land. So at this point, Link nor Zelda have ever been to the surface. They've lived their entire lives up in the clouds, and the surface is only in like a myth to them. They've read it on books and in legends and stories. So yeah, all of their lives they have lived on these giant floating mountains up in the sky, and along the way it looks like Princess Zelda is having some issues and she's hearing some voices. Yeah, she's going a little nutty. That's where the story takes place. A lot of things happen along the way that I don't want to go ahead and get into, because if you want to play this game, I don't want to go ahead and spoil this game for you. I played Breath of the Wild before I actually played this game, and believe it or not, I thought that the Breath of the Wild game, the mechanics, how it looks, it was all gonna get in the way of me enjoying this game that was released for the Nintendo Wii. I felt like I was at the beginning, to be honest, at the beginning I felt like I was taking a step back, because there were a lot of things that were improved from this game to Breath of the Wild. But let me tell you something, these quality of life changes that Nintendo made for this game in order for this game to fit well in the Nintendo Switch were amazing. I have enjoyed every single part of this game. The controllers were very easy to use. So at the beginning I thought that me playing Breath of the Wild and seeing all the improvements that were made in that game was gonna get in the way of me enjoying Skyward Sword HD, because of course it's from the Wii. But the improvements made by Nintendo were fantastic, and I feel like these improvements actually gave me a better experience as a first-time player. I truly enjoyed this game. There were a lot of learning curves that you have to get used to when it comes to playing. Now, for example, if you play with the controller like this, like a pro controller, then this button will be your sword right here. But this button can also be the camera when you hold the L button right here. Then you move left and right to move the camera around. And then when you let go of the L button, then this becomes a sword again. And of course, that took a little bit of getting used to, but I felt like I actually got the hang of it pretty fast. And I was able to enjoy this game at its fullest. And I loved every single detail about it. Nothing from Breath of the Wild got in the way of me enjoying Skyward HD. And one of my favorite parts about this, without giving too much away, was the relationship between Link and Zelda. In this game, it looks like I said before, this is the very first story in the Legend of Zelda series. And Link and Zelda, they grew up together. They grew up together. They know each other very well, and you could see the chemistry between both Link and Zelda, and you could also see how much they actually enjoy being with each other and liking each other. You know, I've always wanted Link and Zelda to kind of get together already in every single game, and this is the closest they get to, you know, with the eyes and the looking and the talking. And it's super adorable when Zelda tells him, "Hey, would you like to go on the Loftwing and fly together later on today?" Like, you know, in other words, Zelda asked Link out for a date, and I thought that was pretty cool. So, I mean, the game is super amazing, super intuitive. I actually love the fact that you actually have to work a little harder to use a sword instead of just pushing one button. You actually have to use the Joy-Con. It just made me feel more invested into the game. It made me feel like I had to work a little extra to beat the bosses and just, you know, get rid of the enemy. But I truly love the story. The story is amazing, and I'm glad that this is my first time playing it for the Nintendo Switch, because I wasn't really influenced by the experience of others with the Nintendo Wii, and I heard that the mechanics and the motion controllers were a headache for people to use. But I am super excited that I was able to play it with the Nintendo Switch. And I gotta tell you guys, I truly recommend this game. It is a game that you need to get, you need to play, and it's super awesome. I give this game, when it comes to the story, I give this game a 10 power-up stars out of 10. I also give this game, when it comes to the controllers and the quality of life improvements. I mean, I've never played the Nintendo Wii version, but seeing comparisons online, seeing what improved over the new version and the old version, I enjoyed it completely. To me, it was just an upgrade completely. To me, it felt like a brand new game. It did not feel at all like this game belonged in the past. It felt like this game belonged on the Nintendo Switch, and I loved it. So when it comes to the controllers, the mapping, the settings, and the learning curve, I give this game a 9 power-up stars out of 10. Yes, it was that great. It was that fantastic. I loved using the controller to just go ahead and use a joystick to use a sword. It was a new experience for me because I did not play the other one with the motion controllers. And then I'm used to just pressing one button to hit the sword, or just holding that button down for Link to power up his sword and then hit that round sword attack. With this, it was a different experience. I had to work a little more, but I just felt more invested when I had to work a little more. So I enjoyed it completely. Another thing that I loved was the chemistry between Link and Zelda. I love that those moments where Link and Zelda felt close to each other. And like I said, I want them to get together. I want to see that wedding. So yeah, I give that a 10 power-up stars out of 10. For game length, I also give it a 10 power-up stars out of 10. With the quality of life improvement made to the beginning of the game, so you can start playing right away instead of just spending almost 40 minutes, I think it was, before you could ever do something in the game. I felt personally that I enjoyed it completely. I mean, I saw videos on how Fi, this character that lived inside the sword, came up every so often to give Link some advice, and sometimes it came up at the wrong moments or maybe too much. And I love the fact that Nintendo went in and just turned that off and made it very, very optional, so that, for example, if I needed help, I could just push one button on the D-pad, and then Fi will come out and then help me with that level. I love the fact that I could learn on my own. Sometimes I don't like to be guided way too much, and the fact that we have Fi there, and it's only optional. She would come up at the beginning. I think it's part of the storyline, so that, you know, you kind of get to know that you have that option of summoning Fi. But then later on, it was optional, so that you can actually just focus on the game. And I'm the kind of person who loves to learn while I play the game. I've never bought a game guide or never looked up anything online on how to beat a level. I always love to play at least the Legend of Zelda games, the dungeons, the puzzles, all those things. I like to figure them out on myself, and I like the fact that this is optional, that Fi was optional this time around. She comes up once in a while, when it has to do with the story, or when it's related to the story. But other than that, it was completely optional, and to me that was super awesome. And for that, I also give that feature a 10 power-up stars out of 10. For The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword full score, when with all put together, I give this game a 10 power-up stars out of 10. Yes, it was that good. Yes, I enjoyed it that much. I never played it before on the Wii, and this was my first time playing it on the Switch. So glad that Nintendo went ahead and made all these quality of life changes to make this game just more enjoyable. And I do love it, and it went up into my top 5 most favorite games of all time. Of course, Breath of the Wild is number 1. And that's it, guys. That is my review. Let me know what you guys think. If you played this game before, how many power-up stars do you give it? Leave it down below in the comments if you played this game. And how many power-up stars do you give it based on what you've heard about the game and the quality of life changes that have been made to this game by Nintendo? Let me know below in the comments, guys. And this was my review for The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword HD for the Nintendo Switch. That is it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to hit like if you enjoyed this review, and also make sure that you have subscribed to this channel so you don't miss another Nintendo Academy video. I am Mike Perez with Nintendo Academy.